Sorry about the hyena in the background. We're coming to you live tonight. So the bishop is here in person, and I'll tell you why. But before we get started, if I can get my hat to figure out something. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to doing this when the recordings are usually set up and stuff in place, and we kind of prep it. I'm doing this tonight live here at the Hogue House at our Thursday night church service with the men and lady of the house. And I'm doing it because as I was at our other home today, thank you, sir. Forgive me, I'm going to have to drink. I've had a lot of health problems, so my throat. So I've been out today, and with my health, for those who don't know, we've had a lot of struggles. And the next 8 weeks, they've condensed a 6-month regimen of treatments into only 8 weeks. So 6 months condensed to 8 weeks. And they started them Sunday night, and it's been nothing but violent puking, and it's not going to get better. It'll get worse each week for the next 8 weeks. On the 8th week, they expect the following week to see a turn, and then we should see a little bit each week of improvement. So that's the whole goal of this. So forgive me for if I have to walk off the air. Literally can't walk around without the puke bucket. And I appreciate all your prayers. Our family and friends from Africa, Ghana, I love you all. Thank you for your messages and support. The king out there, lots of love, my brother. Can't wait to get you out here. You're the king over there. Don't tell anybody, but I'm the king of my house. Okay, my one-man room. No, I'm kidding. I don't think I'm the king of anything. I got cards made up, guys. I got new cards. They're coming in. It says senior janitor. The guy looks at me when I'm making them, and he goes, Mr. Brown, I'm pretty sure I just made your cards for your company last week. And it said chairman, president. And I said, no, sir. I'm no longer the chairman and president. That's somebody else. He says, why are you the senior janitor? I said, because I spend my days cleaning up everybody's poop. He starts laughing. I said, every head of a company should call themselves senior, or executive janitor or something like that to make you feel a little better. When I was at the other house, Jonathan's Refuges, and I went over to see some men and work with them. I haven't been out much, and it weighs on me when I don't go see my men. I love these guys. They're my knuckleheads. I'm knucklehead number one. And I got there today, and my buddy Paul, I love Paul. Paul, me and him had an interesting start. I won't go over it. I've done many videos on it. But Paul is a good friend of mine. And he asked if I picked the message for the house last night because I couldn't do a new message. And it crushes me not to do it. And so our executive VP and director of the Refuge, my brother, fellow board member, he picked the message, and he was going old school, so he's going back to the old videos. Apparently, he played one from the very beginning. But Paul said he remembered that meeting specifically, and we spoke on Samson and the strength of Samson, this kick-ass message. He was telling me all about it. I'm like, well, thank you. But it was deep. He got emotional. He's like, none of those guys are here. And I'm looking at me and Cam, because me and Cam were there in the video. And me and Cam were starting with you. That was the week, like after it started, this whole thing. And he goes, and he says, he got choked up. And I was choked. I had to leave. I was almost in tears when I got in the car. It was really tough to hear. He said it was first off, he says, it's just you. You were live. You were teaching us at the house. You're right there in the living room, but we're all watching it in. And I remember the message when he reminded me of it. So that's why we're doing this live. It's not as professional for all those watching it. And I don't mean this to be rude. I don't do anything if you care. I don't care if you care or don't care. I do what I feel that God leads me to do. And as the bishop of our group, our church, archbishop, I don't care if I swear. I don't care if you swear. I tell people let's not swear around ladies and children. I apologize if there is a ladies present, and I usually don't ever swear around them unless I know it's okay. And when I say by okay, they tell you it's okay because they do it or something. But I've always tried to be a gentleman. And when you get to the situation where you miss your guys so much, you just got to push and say, screw it, let's go. And I was thinking, what can I talk about? Like how do you, and my health's at the forefront for me. It's an 8-week program. And I don't know if I got it in me. I'll be honest. I've done a lot of cancer treatments, heart treatments. So I did that one round for my heart. They had this special drug. You had to sign a waiver. I had to get an attorney to do all this. He signed it. It was hyped up. I was like, I'm not buying a freaking apartment complex. I'm just signing that I'm letting you do an experimental drug. And it fixed my heart. It almost killed me. And then it also destroyed my kidneys and put me into complete kidney failure. So bad that I couldn't even go on dialysis. So I was a guinea pig. It fixed one problem. I didn't die. I had literally about it was when I was living next to you when we had our houses. It was right about the time you bought yours, or maybe the year after it. And next thing you know, man, I'm out there and my whole world's flipped upside down. I'm alive, and then I'm dying of kidney failure. But it's better than dying from the one that they said I've been dead from 6 months ago. So you almost start to have to laugh about it, and that's where I'm at. I'm literally at a place where I'm like, everyone keeps saying like, "Hey God, give me a little break," and I just chuckle when someone says that. I'm like, "What do you need a break from?" Well, my job's pretty tough, and I've got some issues with family members, and I got a sciatica, and I'm like, okay, I have a sciatic nerve thing. Yep, I got that. Again, I'm sorry, I'm confused. What are you complaining about? I'm dying. What's your excuse? Why are you not out working? My legs got 3 fractures in it, and I've refused to stop, and I'm not gonna. I don't need to. It just means it hurts a lot, and you stretch the one fracture, so I got to put a little cushion down there and baby it more. But it's not an ending. You can't allow the outside circumstances to stop you. And the story, and I'm not going to read you guys the whole thing, but I really would encourage. I don't ever question you guys like, hey, did you read that chapter or not? But I would like if you were to go to the book of Genesis, and start in Genesis chapter 29, and it's a story about Jacob, who later God told him to change his name to Israel. So that is Israel. Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes. So this is the guy who his 12 sons created Israel. And his one son, we've told you, y'all have heard me talk. I probably preached 1,000 sermons on him when they threw the brother into the pit and they wanted to sell him to Egypt slave traders. And then he became head of his master's house as a slave. And then he ends up getting accused of rape by the wife, and then gets thrown in prison for life because he's a rapist now of his boss's wife, which he didn't do. And then the king's people, y'all remember that story? And then he finds favor. Next thing you know, he becomes Pharaoh. The Pharaoh made him second in command and said, here's the Pharaoh's ring, took the ring off himself, slid it on his hand and said, when I am not here, this man in his ring is me. Now, he was called God. So he said, this is God. And you're like, wait a second. You were a slave, almost killed by your brothers, tossed out of the kingdom because they were jealous. Then you had great success and not whining. Do you know how many guys would have never succeeded? Because you know what they'll do? I was my dad's favorite boy. My brothers threw me, tried to kill me, then they sold me. That's all you'd hear for the next 30 years. I just spilt all the water, guys. I am so sorry, TJ. Move quick. Thank you, son. Quick, TJ. Sorry, guys. Like I said, we're not in the studio. This is live. So lots of fun, but it's just water, thank God. So Jacob is this man that is a big figure in all of this. Now, he's a worker. He's a doer. He's not a piker. Y'all know what a piker is. Oh, my neck hurts. Could I just sit down and kind of, I don't know, watch the sun for you? I got a broken leg in 3 spots, and I'm here. What's your excuse? Again, I'm not telling anyone to do something that I don't do. And I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just showing people what a man does. We've gotten off of what men are. There are not men around anymore. I look all the time. Let's put it on that. Yes, thank you, son. They don't make men anymore. I open the door for a lady if I am there. The people that are around me, I watch, and if they don't open the door, I take those men aside and say, well, "What's your problem? Yeah, I'm about to take you in here for this meal. Are you going to pay for it? It's like $100 a person. You going to show out the $100? If I ever see you not open that door again for a woman, because men have lost being men. Now I know not everyone wants the door open. I don't care. I have a belief of being a gentleman. Men went to work. We did our job. We didn't complain about it. We didn't cry about it. We went home and held our tears until we got in the backyard by ourselves when our children were asleep and our wife was closing down everything. And we would maybe shed some tears because you just found out you're going to lose 20% of your income and you don't know how you're going to explain this to your wife and the kids and you're not sure what to do and all of that burden. And I can't go into details, but one of my firms, while I'm going through this first week of 8 weeks of treatment, a massive amount of money. Just boop. I can't even explain how much and what, but enough to make anyone in this room or watching have a heart attack. 6 figures kind of stuff. Kind that make things disappear and fall under and implode. Now people were panicking. What do we do? What about this? I got this. I got it. Now I'm puking as I'm saying this to everyone. Now I'm like getting out of bed. Hey, we got a problem. Oh, first off, that's not a problem. This is a major crisis. And after getting through the few minutes, you jump into a routine. And I noticed that about myself. And I'm like, I'm thanking my spiritual mentors, the men and women who taught me this, because I didn't freak out and start going, oh God, oh God. And then I stopped and said, okay, guys, here's the worst case scenario. And this is what can happen. This is why it could happen. Here's the best case scenario. None of us are going to have a clue for this many weeks. I got to figure out how to come up with this much money. I got this. Everyone stay on your course. Do this, do that. The troops went out. The generals got their marching orders. The generals went out. And today, everything's back to normal. A lot of hiccups to come down the road. Nothing anyone will ever even notice. Why? Because real men, real women, real grown-ups don't run around crying about all their problems. So I want you to read the story of this guy, Jacob, because he met a girl named Rachel, falls in love with Rachel, saves Rachel, her other handmaidens that were there from some bandits at a watering well, introduced her to his dad. Dad said, come hang out with us. He had no family left. He was wandering. Long story short, he starts working for him. Says, I'll work for you for 7 years. He said, because he wanted his labor. He says, I'll do it for 7 years. Or he said, I'll do it for your daughter's hand. And that's his youngest daughter. That tradition back then, you had to marry the oldest first. But he fell in love with the youngest. So he wanted to marry her. And so he said, sure, but you got to work for me for 7 years. How bad do you want your girl or your guy? You willing to go to work for a man for 7 years? And that means you don't get paid, by the way. You're not paid. He'll feed you. You're in the family. So you have a tent to live in like the other people do. You've got a bed taken and given to, but you're not making a dime. Who here would do that for 7 years for something you want? I did. And I'm going to tell you right now, the guy that's not raising his hand should be. Yeah, he is. And he should. People ask all the time, how much does Rev Tip pay you? Nothing. I don't pay him anything. Yet you guys, hear his parents at the barbecues bitching out loud about, JB, is there any chance you can let him come back to work for us? I mean, he can go to work anywhere he wants. And he just looks and says, I'm sorry, Mom, Dad, I love you. You've raised me. I'm here for you. I'll help you. But this man is my priority. And I put him as a priority because he puts me as a priority. And these men have worked. Some of them left careers at major institutions to come over here because they believe in this dream. How bad do you want it? I want to be healthy so bad. No one could ever. I can't. I sometimes chuckle when I see the guys in my group complaining. I had a guy I did a house complaining about. And I started to cry because I thought to myself, man, I've maybe slipped in not sharing enough with these men. We don't do that. I want this so bad that I'm willing to put my life on the line to get it done in 8 weeks because it's the riskiest thing you can do. That's why the doctors don't want to sign off on it. I had to sign another form that says, I will not hold the doctors. I have an ex-wife, so I don't have anyone to claim, anything. I've had to waive the company as I had to get the board and people. I had to actually get the chairman of the board to actually be, because he's the next in command. So I had to get him to sign all kinds of stuff to make sure that I can do all this. And how bad do I want it? Bad enough to put my life on the line for it. How bad do I want Jonathan's Refuge to succeed? Bad enough that I still have, this year was supposed to be my first year of having a salary after 6 years of not having a salary, and still owed tens of thousands of dollars from what I put into the firm that they've never paid me back because I haven't asked for it. And I know I have to soon, but I've not asked for it in 6 years. Why? I didn't take a salary because I needed to bring on the next step in this group, the next leader who's going to help me lead this thing if I kick the bucket or not. And I needed that person. So I had to sacrifice myself. How bad did I want it? I was willing to work 7 years for free because I'm literally going into my 7th year. Oh, yeah, Rev, but you sure have a car all the time. I do. Same car that he drives all the time. He drives all the time. And anyone in my management team drives all the time. They're company vehicles. I have a motorcycle. It's my vehicle. It's the only vehicle I own because I gave everything to this firm. I donated my car to the firm that bought the first down payment for the next car. I made 3 jobs. I worked a total of 80 hours at 2 full-time careers. And then a part-time, it gave me an extra 10 hours on a Saturday. And I had to do my chemo and my radiations all in the same time period of the same year and not spend a penny of it because I had to put it all into this dream that I have. How bad do you want it? So this guy, he worked 7 years. Wedding night, gets married. Tradition then, all veiled. Middle East, Israel, Egypt, doesn't matter. That whole world at that time, that's how the traditions were and where they were from. So this guy wakes up in the morning to see his wife for the first time. And it's not Rachel, it's Leah. Whoa, the oldest, not the one he fell in love with. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't care if I would have got over to old Papa's tent, sliced his throat, and been like, done deal. Now this whole tribe's mine, and your daughter that I was supposed to get is mine. That's the old me, not the new me. I'd have just beat them up with the new me. But how bad did he want it? And the father had the right to do it, by the way, because the rules of that time, tradition at the time, you had to marry the eldest. If you wanted the youngest, that's fine, but he should have said, I'll marry your oldest and her. And then it would have been, dad would have said, no problem, right? So here's what the dad says. No problem, man. You can have her hand in marriage. 7 more years. I want to know truthfully right now. Don't raise your hand. How bad do you want it? I just had to go tell a guy. Now, I normally don't tell a guy when they screwed up because sometimes you tell a guy he just lost a $50,000 job when he makes nothing. Could cause a guy to kill himself or do something stupid. But I also don't usually keep those kind of people don't last for too long around me because I'm blunt and in their face. So most of those kind of people either change or fade out fast. This guy screwed up royally, man. GCS was his golden ticket. The charges in his life, the crimes that most of us have dealt with, you don't get big chances in your life. 1 or 2 maybe. And you usually stick with whatever you get going, I'm thankful, it's nice. And you see others reaching for the stars and you're like, no, everyone that keeps reaching gets screwed. And then I lose this job. And this is how, man, I think of that process and I go, God, I remember that. That's when I started this whole thing. I was remembering that because I went 30 days with 30 interviews and not one company would hire me, including McDonald's. And I don't mind telling that to the public. And I ran a McDonald's in Gardner, Maine. And you're not going to let me flip burgers? I was the youngest VP of a publicly traded company on Wall Street. You're not going to let me flip burgers? I'll flip burgers better than anybody. I got a smile on my face. So how did it all start? We all know the story. I went and shoveled shit for a company. And I did it with such a smile and such fervency and such, that thing was, you could have ate off of the ground after I cleaned it up. That's what they said. And that's what got me a job. Within 6 months, I was a superintendent. Do you know I didn't know how to do one dang thing? Not one. I've been a developer. I wrote the check for the $100 million to build the resort. How do you do a 90-degree cut? Don't know. So bad that the guys would make fun of me. So I get up there. I'm on the roof checking some work, and I'm calling my buddy Brian. Going, okay, what am I looking for? Brian would tell me, all right, thanks. That ain't how it's supposed to be. Get that fixed. God, that guy knows everything. And so I'm up there, and one of the boys holler, hey, boss, give me a measurement on that last cut. Okay. 5 feet, 6 inches, and 3 lines.
3 lines.
Does anybody know what the third line is supposed to be? You're either going to be 16ths or 5/8, right? It's those little lines. I didn't know, man. And I don't care to know. What knowledge I have gets millions of dollars in finance. I know what I know how to do really good, but I had to be good. So after like a few months, my buddy Brian bought me a tape measure. And when you opened it, it said the cheat codes. So when you split it open, it said 5 feet, 3 inches and 5/8 or 3/16. And so they called the guys wanted to mess with me one day. They're like, hey, call our boss and tell, hey, give me a measurement. So they're all expecting me to do the same thing. And it's 6 feet, 8 inches and 3/8. The whole construction site was dead silent. This is a skyscraper. This thing was dead silent, like a ghost. And of course, it was a cheat from my friend. So when I think of like the pain and suffering that I've gone through to get to where I'm at, all the fun through going through these constructions and working these jobs to get what we have right now. I was able to tell a new guy, we got a $94,000 pontoon boat for you to be able to go out with a couple of the guys. His wife wants to come with them. You want to get your best friend to go over. You guys get those boats are for you guys. Now, how do you get them? That's the key. These guys, they know how to get them. He can say anything he wants. That young man right there stays more on the boat than anybody I know. He's almost staying as much as me. Why? Because
I make you a priority and you make me a priority.
He said he makes me a priority, our group, and we make him a priority. See, the world has gotten off of our manhood, our womanhood. We've lost it. We've given in to, let's be PC. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Well, not hurting your feelings is why most of us went into prison. Dead serious. We needed a few more mamas to grab us by the back of our heads and whoop our ass. We needed a few more dads to pick us up and knock us out cold on the ground. Oh, it's abuse. Yeah, well, you had what you got for the last 30 years and see where we're at. You know what I heard? This is a sad thing. I heard a client. They didn't know we could hear him on the phone. I heard this client say, they don't know that I know how to get you the additional funding. And so you just got to lie and say this. They were actually qualified for it. And they shot themselves in the foot, just like the young man who wouldn't make the opportunity I gave him what he should have. He should have said, now, wait a second. This cat can get me jobs at places that have billionaires that will help me. Yeah. Just ask him. But you know what he did? He slacked off. And I gave the chance to 2 people in my firm to tell me their opinions, and they all kind of agreed. And it hurt because I really wanted this guy. I really wanted him. And then I would have given him a salary. That guy his whole world could have changed. And it's too late. This one you can't come back from. So, you see this happen. And these happen from time to time. And I'm sharing a story about something that it broke my heart. And so, well, you got to be gracious. Give them another chance. No, that's why those guys keep doing it that way. We keep saying, we'll give you another chance. We'll give you another chance. Do you know now in the military, well, not now, thank God. Do you know that when I'm not going to hold punches, when our previous president was in the military, do you know what the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Marines at boot camp, do you know what you were issued when you got into boot camp? A little card. When you are being yelled at by the drill sergeant who's telling you to get through this, you got guns firing over you, you can pull up your card and they have to stop yelling at you because you're having a moment. And I know a few of you I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this one, but I don't care because some of you need to wake the hell up. Your children are in prison because of your dumb ass being PC. I'm the guy that takes care of you dumb children because of your dumb ass. And I'm blunt. And guess what? We need more of that. Whose excuses are they? Why do we have excuses? You know what they're like. Think about it. We have made it so that I got a family member, I can't say who, that when I asked to do something, you know what I was told? Why? I can't. Why? Because I think of about the 18 things that are going to all go wrong. I broke down in tears. This is someone who I love and would give my life for. And I'm like Mr. Positive. I mean, it's tattooed right here. Live positive. Love all. This stuff's it's ink, man. It's in my DNA. And I've got to now change someone's mindset. My whole life's about to be spent focusing on this one person because I want this person's mindset to change. Because if you could shift your mindset, what do you do when you come home from work and you had a bad day? What's the first thing you guys do? Spit it out.
Sit in my car for 20 minutes.
Does anyone come in and tell you, buddy, how bad your day was? That's pretty good. So that's good. Because you know what most people do? You don't believe what I did. Now, here's what happens. You went to work, your boss ripped your head open, the customer ripped your head open, you feel like crap. You go on break. What do? You tell another employee. The same chemicals that were released from your brain are now being released again by you telling the story. When I found this out from when I was working with Tony Robbins and the science that they brought in and all the scientists, I was like, wait a second, are you telling me that I'm killing myself? I'm actually killing myself. The heart damage that we do, leading cause in America, is because of us. Relive your thoughts, relive your emotions, keep telling the victim of what happened. I was brutally raped in prison once. I've been able to tell the story in a way now that I can laugh at it so it doesn't affect me like it did when I first started telling it. I had to stop telling it. I could only tell like twice. And I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. And all of a sudden my blood pressures are spiking and I'm realizing what's happening. So I called my friend and I said, Tony, I got to share this. There's people that need to hear, but how do I do it without making myself hurt? That was a whole nother process to go through for another message. But my point is, so what, JB? So you got brutally raped. So what, JB? You were shattered and beaten as a kid. So what, JB? So what, guys? It doesn't matter. There's no excuse. We are the only person. Viktor Frankl, I had the chance to meet this cat. If you don't know him, dig it up. Famed psychiatrist. He was a Nazi concentration camp prisoner. He survived. He went on to write the book. Viktor Frankl's, I know he's got like 7 books. But his book telling you his story, at 6, I went to that meeting the first time. I was in tears when he shared with me the story. And Viktor said, they can control my body. If you're on DOC, your body is not yours. They own you. If you say no, they don't, I'll give him my phone call. Let me call real quick. I'll call your CCO, and he's going to be like, oh, yeah, no problem. Hey, your CCO said, get your butt outside and start walking. And what are you going to do? You're going to go do it. Because if you don't, they're going to take you anyways because they're going to cuff you up. So who owns you? DOC owns you right now. How about the worst one? Your mom, your dad hurt you. And you still think about it. And you still blame it all. Do you know who owns you still? Your parents. The guy who raped me. One thing I'll never forget this. I vividly remembered the next morning. I preached this from what I learned from Tony. And here I am now standing the day after being brutally raped. And I got to stand here and tell people the same story. Suck it up, buttercup. Can I do that? I had to forgive the guy right then and there. Right then and there. And I did. Because if I didn't, guess who owned me? He did. So do you want to be owned? Because you're a slave. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm no slave. But the sad part is I'm the one that put myself in slavery. And I'm the one that does it daily. And we all do it. Even though we say we don't. We do it. We share with people the bad stuff just to, you don't need to. I don't need to share my story to make someone feel sorry for me. Just come walk with me for about 3 hours at the compound. When I fall 4 times, puke 20 times, and blood's flying out, you'll feel sorry for me. I don't need to share it with you. And even if the staff, some of them have just learned a few things that are going on that are actually really bad on my health. And they were blown away. They're like, wait, how long has this been going on? How many? What? Why do I need to bring it up? What's it going to do? Make people feel sorry for me. I don't need to have anybody feel sorry for me. I don't want anybody to treat me different. Anyone that does, I usually either fire them, get them out of my life, and move them down the road. I want real people that want to help change themselves because I'm not here to change you. I'm only here to do like this guy, finish the job. He set out to marry her 14 years after he started. He married her, and I do like Barty says, and the sister. So he got the older sister, and I'm not approving this guy. This is so bad. I'm telling you. But my friend got it. No, I'm not going to talk about that on TV either. So anyways, what I need you to hear is how bad do you want it? I want my health. I have to lose this weight. I've got a few friends around me that need to do the same. And I'm on you because I care. Because you have children. You have children to make. We have a future. I probably shouldn't have said that either. Do we really want that offspring? No, I'm kidding. you've got to take how bad do you want it? It's not for looks. I could care less what I look like. I got people who like me for who I am. Okay. Fat, skinny, in shape, or the stud that I am. Doesn't matter. Or maybe just the fat old guy. They love me. So I don't care. But I'm at a place where I do realize that the people that I love, the people I care about, the family that has become my family, I had 2 family members that I just told to please leave. Don't need you here. Don't want you here. I don't know you. You're only coming because you know I'm in a bad health place, and you're hoping you'll get written into something. When I had no money and I was tossed out of everything in my life and put in that prison, not one fucking letter, not one letter. And I was already a bishop. I had thousands of people around the world, all over the place. Mikey, quiet. That's echoing over here. Seriously? And I got nobody to visit me? Not one visit? But I had friends that I found in there, like that man right there. And the day he asked me to do a favor, and he knows it, I never flinched from the favors once, because that's my family. That's my family. This is my family. How hard do you want it? How bad are you willing to get it? I know I went longer than normal, but I don't get a chance to get out and see you guys. I pray to God that you read chapter 29 through 30. It's just take you guys probably 5 minutes sometime. Every house has a Bible. If you don't, get on the internet, Genesis 29 through 30.
Do you have to borrow one?
The story is important to understand. It's not about the wife. It's not about my health. This is a lesson for you. How bad do you want it? I wanted this dream so bad. And now, when I got up to the hill, sitting up there above sea level, looking down on the valley. And I remember the first week, here's what everyone said the first week, nonstop, one day after another, it'd come up, man, Brad, these sunsets are epic. We had everyone coming to the sunset. Every person said to me, you finally arrived. And I went, where? They're like, to the top of the hill. And I went, if we stop working tomorrow, it's gone tomorrow. You arrive to just continue on arriving to the next level. There is no arrival. Look at Disneyland. It's one of my favorite places. I modeled my life after Walt Disney. The man inspired. Everyone knows what I call Skagit County in World War III. I used to tell him, in Skagit County, I said, if this shit comes undone and the world explodes, we're taking it. We're cutting the bridge. We're cutting the bridge here, and it's called Brownlandia, and we'll own it. That's the plan, guys. That was the plan. I called it Brownland. I got the first house for the refuge, and I was like, we should put sign Brownland. And they're like, what? I'm like, I've always dreamed about having my own thing, like Brownland, Disneyland, right? Brownland. You know where Disney got it from? Anybody know? Hollywood. Do you know Hollywood's not called Hollywood? It's Hollywood Land. Go Google it. The first time, Hollywood Land. That D, the very end of it fell off, and just the L was left, and it was falling apart. So they just scratched the land because it'd been like 10 years. And now guess what we're building up there? The sign for Brown Land. My dreams are coming true. But my point is, how bad do I want it? I'm willing to put my life on the line. Right now, I should be in a hospital. I have a place that I could go and rest fully and be pampered and taken care of and probably get a better chance of making it. But I do that, my organization's done. So what do? I never got a chance to, I was a bad guy. So I never got a chance to save somebody's life. And I don't mean that like gunfights, I've been in those. I'm not talking about that. Like really save someone's life. That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm putting mine on the line because I love and I want it bad. And I want to see every one of you. Someday I want to get the call that says, every guy in here, hey, JB, so my daughter's getting their graduation. You got to come over to the house, man. Oh, yeah, I'm there, bro. I wouldn't miss it. And you get your first house. I want to be the guy that helps you buy it. I'm doing that right now with men in our organization. I'm buying houses with them with my credit. And these guys are getting these opportunities. Why? Because I love you guys. And I want it as bad as this man. And I'm willing to put my life on the line. So that's what's going on. But the moral of the story is, how bad do you want it? So if you really want to be free from prison, if you really want to lose weight, if you really want to change your life and change that negative attitude, let's stop with the negative thinking. I love that sweet old grandma in that church, my first little chapel of like 8 people. I got up one day and it's a quiet church. I couldn't get him to speak. And I did a sermon called Stinking Thinking. We got to get off that stinking thinking. And this little old granny said, he's talking about you. I'm like, oh God, she called her husband out right in the middle of the church. All 8 people, right? I was like, to me, it was like $1 million. Okay. It was just my first church. And I'm like, oh my God, I just started a divorce with one of the elders in the church. This is bad news for me. But the guy always talked about the negative. You know what the president did? Do you know what DOC did? Do you know what the governor did? No, and I don't care. I watch news only a couple times a day, get the 2 or 3 things I need and close it down. I run massive millions of dollars in finance. I go to a couple special websites, check a couple special things I need to know. I do not need to know about the rest of everything else. Let's get rid of the stinking thinking. Let's start being more positive. Let's focus on our goals and let's all help each other. So I'm working on getting healthier. I can't really do much eating right now because it all comes up. But when this 8 weeks is done, I'm going to have everybody around me know, look, let's still go out. Let's do these things. But don't be upset when I say, don't want any chocolate cake, please. Don't be upset when I don't take that strawberry rhubarb pie. As bad as that is my demon. There is one at the house right now, so I'm going to finish it. And then puke it all up. So it's all good. So again, I love you all. We'll see you next week. God bless. And stream. I should be doing this with someone else, but I don't know how to do that.